Good afternoon and welcome to the spring season. For the first time in 104 days, JumboCast returns to Bellow Field for the season opener of Tufts men's lacrosse, the number 2 team in the country, on a mission to avenge their national title game loss from a year ago. In their way today stand the Connecticut College Camels, the first of 7 teams whose season the Jumbos ended a year ago, all the way back in the NESCAC quarterfinal. But today's Jumbos look a lot different than last year's team. Of the 20 goals the Bows scored in that quarterfinal, 13 were scored by players who are no longer suiting up in the Graham Brown. But this team is not short on talent by any means. 5 All-Americans gone, but 7 preseason All-Americans line the Jumbos starting lineup, led by the 3 first-team midfielders, Cam Del Cristo, Michael Ayers, and Charlie Tagliaferri, and their leading D-pole, Joey Walbaum. On the other side, the Camels look for their first win against the Jumbos since the very first time these two teams played 11 years ago. The road back to the link starts right here, right now. I'm Riley Daniel, and alongside me for the first half of this one is Max Druckman. Max, a pleasure to have you here. Who do you have your eye on for the Jumbos to replace some of that talent that left the door at the end of last season?
Thank you, Riley. It's great to be here. As you mentioned, the atmosphere is absolutely electric as we get ready to kickstart the season opener here. You mentioned the goals last year. 468 goals scored for this Jumbos team, the NCAA single-season record. Jack Boyden, Kurt Brune, Tommy Swank, the front line that scored a majority of those goals are all gone. They're on to bigger and better things, including some D1 ball in a graduate year. So, who do we got to fill that void? Charlie Tagliaferri had 56 points last year. All NESCAC first team could look to get in on the goals. Jack Regnery also 39 points. Kevin Christmas 29. Max Eddinghausen had 27. They have a lot of talent. There's certainly depth there. Do we think they'll replicate that 468 goal tally? That remains to be seen.
It would be a quite impressive feat if they could do that. But on the other hand, this defense was very good last year, and they didn't lose much. Only one starter from the back line leaving, including the return of 2 preseason All-Americans in George Panagopoulos and Joey Walbaum, and an honorable mention All-American in Connor Garzone. We'll be right back with more analysis. Right now, we're going to turn it over for the national anthem. Welcome back here to Bellow Field. Max, obviously both these teams have what it takes to win in the NESCAC. Both teams got several NESCAC wins last year and had 2 very distinct matchups. That NESCAC tournament game we mentioned in the intro, a 20-6 blowout for the Jumbos. However, Senior Day last year in New London was a very different story, a 15-14 Jumbos win. Which do you think is the more likely scenario to see today?
I think we're going to see a repeat of the second scenario, as you mentioned there, Riley. I think home field advantage for the Jumbos on Bellow Field. They've got the energy. They've got the jitters. They're ready to come out and dominate. But Conn College has nothing to lose, and they've only had 2 notable losses maybe out of 5 graduated seniors. They've gotten an extensive freshman class of 16 players, so they have nothing to lose, and they're looking to play spoiler. As you mentioned last year in New London, it was a narrow 15-14 victory for the Jumbos. We're eager to see who comes out on top on this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting matchup here on Bellow. And obviously, Jumbos with a little bit of a new uniform. What do you think, Max?
I'm digging it. It kind of matches the sky here. It's sort of a dreary day. The gray jerseys kind of reflect the drizzle, sparkled rain showers that we're getting. But I like them.
Yeah, I kind of like it. Jumbos obviously one of their hallmark features of this team is no game throughout the same season will have the same uniform. And today they're going with the gray, the same gray they started last year with. Interesting little homage to last year's team from Coach D'Onofrio in that choice. As we get set for the opening faceoff on the draw for the Jumbos, will be Victor Salcedo getting the first team reps. Interesting choice that was for Coach D'Onofrio. Had two choices in him and Parker Merrill. Went with Salcedo. And we are live from Bello. First draw going to be picked up by the Camels there. And they'll look to attack here with Declan Kuhn. Gets around with a nice dodge. Shot from distance off the cage. And the Jumbos will look to go in transition. Frizzoli going to turn and run. Swung here to Regneri. Skip pass. Shot Del Cristo. Save. Great save there on the start.
That's Will Rice, one of the preseason All-Americans for this Conn College team. He's a great force in net.
Yeah, and you can see why. He was huge in that. Even giving up 20 goals, had 14 saves in that NESCAC quarterfinal. Good clear there for the Camels. And the Jumbos will set in. Camels with their first full set here. And they turn it over. Jumbo's not wasting any time. Eddinghausen skip pass to Regneri. Get a shoot. And that hit the top of the cage. Backed up by Frizzoli. And they're going to say the Camels got to it. That ball went about 100 feet in the air. And the Camels won the race.
That was a booming shot from Regneri. I don't think it was ever going to come down, but the Camels got closest to it, and they're going to regain possession here.
And already we can see the energy both these teams providing as Eddinghausen knocks away the clear attempt. Great ride there from the Jumbos. He gets his stick knocked out, and it's like a violation on the Jumbos.
Good effort there from Eddinghausen. Obviously unbiased. His name is Max like me, but good to see him getting cagey early on, even though he loses possession.
Yeah, Eddinghausen was a great player on the man-up unit last year. Didn't get a ton of time at even strength with those three that you mentioned in the intro being the starting attackman. This year he's a starter, making his name known early. Horkin swung around the top here. Parker Atkins, who had 4 goals last year against the Jumbos. Skipped inside, save Garzone. A point-blank chance for the Camels. Wallbaum within, he's going to look to run. Outlet couldn't find Frizzoli. And a very rare error from Joey Wallbaum.
Yeah, that's a missed opportunity. Wallbaum just a little over-eager there, misplaced the pass. Jumbos had a great opportunity on the counterattack there and lots of open space.
That one is backed up by the Camels. Great hustle there from Bobby Chang.
Seen great reflexes from both keepers early on here. Very surprising this is still a scoreless matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's, 2 saves apiece by the keepers and 1 each that's hit off the post. Michael Moran going to run down the channel, send it to the X, where it'll be controlled by McAvoy. Jumbo's doing a good job not really letting the Camels get any inside possession. And a moving screen called. Jumbo's going to look to run with Michael Ayers.
Like you said, Riley, not letting anything go on the edge of the crease. The Jumbos are fine letting the Camels run around the X in the back of the net as long as they're not getting any dangerous opportunities in front of Garzone's net.
Lewis Timmage with a very easy dodge there. Skips it to Eddinghausen. Gonna face up, gonna shoot, gonna score! Max Eddinghausen makes it 1-0 Jumbos.
The lucky number 13, Max Eddinghausen, wide open on the right side there. No Camel was charging at him. Took a minute, composed himself, fired it home. And the Jumbos lead early here.
Yeah, I was kept waiting for them to send a defender. They let Eddinghausen get his hands free, and he is way too good of a shooter to let that happen.
You'll take that any day of the week if you're the Jumbos. No defenders seem to believe he was going to take a shot. He has his confidence in his shot, and it proved with the goal.
Salcedo back out there. Jason Fastiggi in for this draw for the Camels. And looks like Salcedo went early. First face-off violation on the Jumbos. And that's one place the Jumbos definitely need to have someone step up. Mason Conn, who was unanimous All-American as a face-off man a year ago, left to go play D1 at Syracuse in his grad year. Jumbos need someone to step up in the face-off circle.
Like you said, Mason Conn over 70% of his face-offs won. So that's a big void that Jumbos are going to look to fill. They brought in a few freshmen who could potentially fill the face-off role. We'll look to see who they use here today.
Ford tried to get his hands free. Jumbos did a good job sliding. Got a man hung up. Pass inside, behind the back. Shot, save Garzone.
Garzone read that nifty shot like a book. He was not going to let the behind the back fool him.
And a great outlet, but a not great communication there. As trying to send it forward there was Ben Clark. But a good slide there from the Camels. And they're going to try and clear it. Jumbo's right, holding at midfield. Now they collapse, but a good clear there from the Camels. Lindbergh Pierce has the Camels get their substitutions made here, and will set up into the settled offense. Swung to the X, up top now. Lingo back Pierce. Around the screen, swung wide. Jumbos did a good job helping with O'Neal sliding over. Got a defender hung up now. Shot low, good look there from J.J. Ford. And a great hustle there by Garzone to prevent the Camels from backing that up.
Ethan O'Neal did a great job on that far post, holding close to the offensive player, forcing the Camels to pass it around to no avail, and they lose possession.
Camels, no ride whatsoever. Jumbos, easy as you like. Christmas. Regneri cuts in. Jump shot. Save there. Great save there from Will Rice, who is proving why he was a preseason All-American early on here. Bobby Chang now. Dumps it down the alley. And once again, you mentioned it, the first offensive set, we're seeing it time and time again. Camels having no trouble passing the ball around the perimeter, but they are not getting any sort of inside-out movement.
They're wasting their own time. I mean, the Jumbos are already up 1-0. They're content to sit back and let the Camels try to no avail. And honestly, it doesn't look like they're getting close to the net right now.
Space for Chang, can't get around. Low shot was that in? They say yes. A diving goal there from Bobby Chang evens it up.
That was an incredible goal by Bobby Chang. Dipping, ducking, diving, and dodging to get it in. Weave through the Jumbos defense there. I mean, contrary to what we've been saying the last 5 minutes, he just went straight through to the crease, went right past Garzone, and even though he trips, he manages to finish.
Jumbo's going to switch things up. Parker Merrill on the dot.
15 goals last year for Chang. It's his first one of this season.
Camels went early there, so the Jumbos, and this is where the Jumbos really excel. On those face-off violations, allows them to get their substitutions in right away, get into that settled offense, and then look out. Eddinghausen. Swung here to Lewis Timmons. Double comes. Finds a skip pass. Eddinghausen, jump shot. Hit the post.
I thought Eddinghausen had another one there. Elevated his stick above the defense. Rice with another great save.
Yeah, Will Rice proving that he might be a contender, not just to be an All-American, but to be first-team All-NESCAC. That one given away. Everyone overran it. And eventually, Michael Ayers collects. Gets it out to wall bomb before getting leveled. And Del Cristo will take it across the timeline. Eddinghausen skips to Brookhauser. Has Regneri on the X. Inside Eddinghausen. Around two. Can't get his hands free, then does save Rice. Rebound will be grabbed by Del Cristo. Frizzoli calling for it near side. Instead it'll go to Regneri. Pick play. Regneri going to try and use the X. Double comes. Skip pass to an open Hauser. Gets a step. Can't get his hands free. Around the screen. Up top to Regneri now. Shot low. Save Rice.
Rice is just the Jumbo's worst nightmare right now. They're doing a great job of getting movement in front of the crease, making cuts, making some quick movements, keeping themselves agile. Rice is not being fooled by any of it. He's standing tall, keeping this a tie game.
Yeah, good look there from Will Emsing, the freshman for the Jumbos, but Rice alert to it. Christmas goes down, shot inside, safeguard zone on a real good look there. And here come the Jumbos. Flying up the field, Emsing, skip pass. O'Neal down low, low shot. Saved by Rice. Ball goes down, men go down, sticks go down. Eventually the Jumbos recollect. Ayers with a lot of space, had his hands free, finds a wide open Lewis Timmons, and it is 2-1.
Lewis Timmons straight off the bench, comes it back into the action. Nobody picked him up. He had time to gather himself and fired it home, giving the Jumbos the lead there.
Yeah, Camels were so concerned about not letting Michael Ayers, who is such a good shooter from distance, get his hands free. They sent two to get him. The problem is that left a wide open channel for Lewis Timmons to run into.
Another thing I like there, Will Emsing, the freshman, went coast to coast, showed no fear, got the Jumbos in a good position for where Timmons could get himself open and finish the play.
Merrill wins his second from the draw, and he can look to go. He has a good shot, does Parker Merrill. Thought about it, instead dumps off to Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen to the X and Brookshauser. Regnery now. To the top, this is Sam Frizzoli. He'll send it to Joey Kraft, who played in the Lacrosse World Cup for Team Israel. Jumbo's moving it around to the top. Keeping it alive there was Garrett Kelly, despite losing an edge. Kraft. Camels doing a good job preventing the Jumbos from getting any sort of penetration. Kelly calls for an ISO, 20 on the shot clock. Skip pass, Eddinghausen, low-high scores.
Garrett Kelly takes his height advantage, as is the case with the Jumbos team overall. Uses it on the mismatch to create space from his defender. He calls the ISO. He lets the shot clock wind down. Eddinghausen gets time to ready himself. One-timer as soon as he receives the ball. Great play design from the Jumbos. I love the confidence there from Garrett Kelly.
Yeah, and these are players. Garrett Kelly was one who didn't get a lot of time last year, showing just how much depth is in this Jumbos program.
They did not get playing time for their lack of quality. It's just that there were so many great upperclassmen on the Jumbos last year. Now they're getting their time to shine, and it's paying off early.
Eddinghausen skips all the way across to Regnery. Stops and goes. Spins left, low shot, bounces it in.
Another quick goal there. Regnery bounced it past Rice. If you can't go in the air, try it off the ground. Rice finally loses the ball due to the spin once it hits the ground. And the Jumbos are up 4-1 here. It's a quick turn of events.
Yeah, and that's why, even though he only had 20 goals as a freshman a year ago, Jack Regnery was a preseason All-American. It's that sort of skill. Back down a defender on his right hand, switch hands, spins to his left, and then goes with the bounce shot over Will Rice.
You don't get 39 points on a team that scores 438 goals if you don't have talent. And obviously, Jack Regnery does have a lot of talent, and he's going to get to showcase it more this year, just like he did right there.
Yeah, Jack Regnery was at points last year getting first-line minutes with the likes of Brune, Tommy Swank, and Jack Boyden. And I don't need to tell you the quality of player you have to be on that line.
Absolutely, and it looks like both teams getting a minute to regather themselves here. I think early on we saw a bit of 50-50 action. You know, the Camels had their chances in the offensive zone, kind of passed the ball around a little nonchalantly, and then the Jumbos pounced. I mean, the Camels kind of tired themselves out, let themselves get a little too comfortable. Jumbos reminded the Camels who they're dealing with here. They're dealing with the most talented team in the NESCAC, and they just scored 3 quick goals right there.
Yeah, I mean, looking at some of the stats early on, you can see that this was a very close game. I mean, it's only 11-7 advantage in favor of the Jumbos in terms of shots. The bigger stat is ground balls, 9-4. That's simply a matter of hustle. The Jumbos, for all their talent, win a lot of games purely on the fact that Coach Dinolfo demands maximum effort at all times, no matter what the score is.
1,080 ground balls last year for the Jumbos. Obviously, they're a team based in hustle. Even though they lost Mason Conn, who led the team in ground balls last year, the hustle is contagious.
And right there, Salcedo lost the initial draw, fought for the ground ball, and Frizzoli came up with it. To the top, hands free, Salcedo skip past Eddinghausen, shot, nearly went in. On the ground again, and Conn College comes away with it there. Nicely done by Ryan Frank. That clear given away by Will Rice. Eddinghausen's been everywhere.
Just a poor pass from Rice there.
Regnery thought about it, gets a step, low shot, save Rice. That one is a successful clear for the Camels. But the Jumbos, just as they can turn defense into offense, can turn offense into defense so fast.
I agree, Riley. It's that adaptability and versatility. They don't get down on themselves when they misplace a pass. They don't get down on themselves when they lose a loose ball. Now they're back in a defensive position. And like we saw at the beginning of the game, the Camels are just passing the ball around aimlessly right now.
Space here for Ward. Jumbo's doing a great job not letting any Camels get their hands free in a shooting spot. Great dodge, back and forth, low shot, missed the frame.
Ayers doing a great job on that far
Ward
side.
ducks under, jump shot, save Garzone. And a shot clock violation. They're going to say it went wide. Garzone did not get a touch to it. So to reset the shot clock.
As I was saying, Michael Ayers, number 51, one of the 3 returning defensemen for the Jumbos who got a lot of minutes last year, showed why there, just not letting the Camels get an open shot.
And Conn College going to go a man up, a hold called there on Brooks Hauser. I was wondering what the shot clock change was back from 58. Both coaches seemingly upset with that call for various reasons. But it'll give the Camels man-up unit their first look of the season.
Conn College with 14 man-up goals last year, which pales in comparison to Tufts 38, but still a good output that, I mean, you can't really compete with what the Jumbos were doing with a man-up or with even sides last year.
No, you cannot. And the Jumbos, for all their ability to score, were a great man-down unit last year. Jump shot, save Garzone, and he's likely going to slow things down, look to just kill off the penalty, or maybe not. Joey Walbaum never slows down. Hands off to the other Joey, that's Kraft. Great pick set at the top there. Kraft running hard, low shot, save Rice.
Where would the Camels be without Will Rice so far in this game?
I think down about a dozen.
I agree.
Jumbo's back to full strength. Had the best look in the man down. And that is gonna be a flag, yep. Clear as day. Camels got caught with too many men on the attacking half. Will Rice booted the ball to prevent the easy goal, but that'll send the Camels a man down.
You know, that can't happen for the Camels and Coach Jim Nagel. Even though you're going back to even strength here, you got to make sure you have the right men on the field and the right number of men on the field. Now you're putting a Tufts team that's so dangerous, a man up. This cannot end well for the Camels here.
Yeah, and more importantly, Will Rice is the man who has to serve the penalty. That is not what the Camels want.
We're seeing Will Vivian, the junior, in net right now.
Tagliaferri on the X. First time we've seen him all day.
Yeah, that's been surprising early on considering his offensive output last year.
Regnery whips it across. Tagliaferri comes GLE. Low shot is in the back of the net. Got underneath Vivian. Tagliaferri on the field for all of 10 seconds. Gets himself on the scoreboard.
Well, like we said, we were surprised Tagliaferri wasn't out there earlier, but if you only need one opportunity to score, then you can take it. Jumbo's up 5-1, used the man-up advantage quite well and quite efficiently.
Yeah, and I mean, this has been a quick run from the Jumbos. It was a 1-1 game 4 minutes ago.
Totally different ball game, 5-1. That's what the Jumbos do. They just keep scoring.
Yeah, they don't really give any sort of break. Camels with their first draw win since Parker Merrill came on the first time. He loses that one, his first loss of the day. And the Camels in trouble here. Jumbo's going to double. Great skip pass. Jumbo's man down, caught, save, Garzone. And a hold called on the Jumbos will give possession back to the Camels.
Camels will look to reset. Try to penetrate towards the crease, get at Garzone, try to make something happen.
Aiden McAvoy has O'Neal hung up slightly. Skip pass, Ward shot, wide. They're going to say Garzone got a piece of it. We'll reset the shot clock to 60.
Yeah, Camels being forced to take a long-distance shot there. Even though they retain possession, those are not the highest percentage shots. They'd like to get closer to Garzone here.
Ward trying to get his hands free for Zoli, having none of it. Now to the X, and Lingo back Pierce. Low pass. Grabbed nicely there. 20 on the shot clock for the Camels. Forced to the X. Jumbo's hung up, though. Pass inside, couldn't find the cut. Ward with it with 15 on the shot clock. Gets hands free, shot over the bar. Will stay with the Camels, 12 to shoot.
Game clock 5 seconds ahead of the shot clock. Camels got to make something happen real quick here.
Frizzoli. Not going to let him get anything. Shot will come. It's wide, and that'll be a shot clock violation. Jumbos have 4.7. We'll see if they can do something with it. Ayers skips it. Looking for a teammate. Can't find one in time. That'll be the first quarter. At the end of one, Camels played it even for the first half of the quarter, but the Jumbos closed it on a 4-0 run. Take a 5-1 lead to the quarter break. Max, your thoughts?
Yeah, as you mentioned, pretty even early on. The Jumbos are only ahead 16-13 in shots, but Connor Garzone, Ayers, and Ethan O'Neal on defense have held strong. The Jumbos kept pounding the Camels' goal, and it paid off. They're up 5-1 here at the start of the second quarter, despite what was a pretty even game for most of the first quarter.
Yeah, and I think the scary part for the Camels is I don't think the Jumbos have gotten going yet.
I agree. This is them at their worst. This is the first quarter of the first game of the season.
And the one player, I think, of the two teams who is at full talent and ability right now is Will Rice.
I think Max Eddinghausen also has to be in that discussion. He's been all over the place for the Jumbos in the offensive zone.
Yeah, I was reading the team preview on the Athletics website last night. They were talking about how impressive Eddinghausen has looked this spring, and we can see clearly that was a very true statement. He has been everywhere, not just offensively, a couple forced turnovers, and really just showing why he is such an important piece of this Jumbos attack this year.
Yeah, absolutely. The Jumbos have conceded just 2 turnovers in comparison to the Camels' 5. Eddinghausen has a lot to do with that. The Camels look kind of shaky in transition at points. Eddinghausen and the midfield have capitalized off that. Jumbos looked to grow their advantage as we kick off the second quarter here on Bello.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will just let you know a little scoreboard update from New London on the other side of this matchup. Women's lacrosse, Jumbos up 15-4 with 6 minutes left in that one. As a reminder, women's lacrosse with their home opener right here on JumboCast, live from Bello, 2:30 tomorrow against Washington and Lee. Merrill back on the draw, wins that one easy as you like to himself. And he might look to go here. Hauser gets hung up, dodges around two. To Regnery, who's on the X. Not a spot we saw him in at all last year. Spin dodge. Back the other way and finishes.
Great move, and it all started with Parker Merrill right there, winning the faceoff, keeping his own possession. As we said, the Jumbos need to figure out who's going to take their faceoff. Parker Merrill done a great job early on here. And from there, it's fluid. The Jumbos just pushed into the offensive zone and finished. Will Rice didn't even have time to react. And it's already 6-1.
Yeah, that's a scary thought right now. Jumbo's just, it seems every possession is either ending in a goal or a Will Rice save.
Exactly, and for the Camels, that's not ideal. I mean, like we said before, where would they be without Will Rice?
Here come the Jumbos yet again as they're starting to assert their dominance at the faceoff circle. Ettinghausen behind the back to Regnery, jump shot, saved by Rice. Brooks Hauser on the far side. Regnery, the Jumbos making some substitutions here. Kevin Christmas coming in.
Jumbo's giving themselves a moment to breathe with a lot of turnover right here.
Hauser. Regnery has his man hung up. Taking all sorts of time. Pick play, wide open. Kevin Christmas dropped the ball. Gets tripped up. Kevin Christmas was so shocked about the amount of space he had.
He didn't know what to do with himself.
Hauser. Now Christmas on the X. Talk about a height advantage. Christmas has about 6 inches. Spin dodge, gets taken down. Good D there from the Camels. Great job by Jack Anglem.
Yeah, great D from the Camels. I mean, even though Christmas has the height advantage when he's back there in the X, he doesn't have the agility advantage, and he gets tripped up there by the Camels defense, and it leads to a turnover.
Will Rice leads the clear for the Camels, who will look to get a good look here. Haven't had a good look in a while now.
Not since the start of the second quarter.
Jumbo's, I mean, you talk about little things. The Camels just now getting started on an offensive set with 45 on the shot clock.
Yeah, the sense of urgency is not there, and when it is, the Jumbos are just stifling it. They pick up on movements before they even happen.
Trying to dodge around for Zoli. Pass inside. Shot. Save Garzone. How did he get to that one?
Great save there by Garzone. Frizzoli with some great defense behind the net. The Camels do progress it in front of the crease, but Garzone there to meet the challenge.
Ayers dumps it off for Regnery, who has a head of steam. Faked the shot. Skipped it to Ettinghausen. He sent that one so far wide.
I thought Regnery was going to take the shot charging in into the offensive zone. He had all kinds of space. Made it past Ettinghausen. And Ettinghausen sends it wide.
Hauser brings it back in. Uses the screen. Frizzoli. To the top, Jordan Ito. Some of the first years getting some minutes here. Joey Kraft sprinted in, didn't get the look he wanted. One v one here. Emsing forced behind the net. Joey Kraft now with 30 on the shot clock. Swung up top for Zoli, whips it around. Emsing gets a step, just couldn't get that one down. Will stay with the Jumbos, 15 to shoot.
Little over-eager there from Emsing. We've seen from that right-hand side, our right-hand side, the Jumbos haven't been able to find the top corner and instead send the ball out.
Ettinghausen able to recollect. Regnery's going to get it with 4, and he's likely just going to send a Gilman. That'll do. Shot clock violation on the Jumbos.
A rare wasted possession from the Jumbos, but there was a lot of player turnover there, getting some first years, their first taste of action. So Camels will look to go on the offensive and make the Jumbos pay here.
Jumbos with that signature holding at midfield ride. Going to force the Camels to try and skip past it, which they do.
Lingelbach-Pierce just got forgotten about there in midfield.
Yeah, that pass is often there. Jumbo's just kind of bet on the fact that when it's the opposing goaltender with the ball in his stick, he'll just forget about it. And often it works. Frizzoli doing a good job denying the entry. Ayers gets hung up now. Pass inside, and a great stick check there by Ben Frizzoli. Jumbo's going to run. Sam Frizzoli down low. Dodging through 3, and finishing is Jack Regnery.
Great team move by the Jumbos there. Frizzoli to Regnery to finish it off. I mean, like we said, it's smooth. They turn defense into offense real quick, real fast. Camels didn't know what hit it. 1 minute, they were attacking Garzone's net. The next minute, the ball is past Will Rice in the back of the Camels net.
Yeah, and that's all Ben Frizzoli there. With the stick check, gets the ball, comes up with it, and no question that he was just going to take that all the way into the offensive zone, draws the defender in, and then a man advantage the rest of the way. And that's going to be a trip on the Camels. And then they change their mind. Just under 10 to go in the first half. Jumbo's with a 7-1 lead. Camels have not scored since 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Del Cristo on the defensive duties here. Skip past Chang. Aiden McAvoy, shot, scores! Got in short side, went upstairs over Garzone, and the Camels get their second.
Aiden McAvoy had 16 goals last year. This Camels front three is still pretty good at finishing moves when they can make them. So McAvoy makes the Jumbos pay there. Way to step inside, get the ball in the bottom corner, and they break a long goal drought here in the second quarter.
Yeah, that was a big goal. You got the feeling that if the Camels didn't score soon, this one was going to get out of hand fast.
Exactly.
Frizzoli with the ground ball. Another face-off won by Parker Merrill. He's 4 for 5.
And Frizzoli doing a great job hustling, picking up the ball there.
Brooks Hauser going to bring it back. Regnery, who already has a hat trick today. Hauser, stop and go. Garrett Kelly now has 2 on him. He'll dump it off to Lewis Timmons as the Jumbos get some short sticks on. To the X and Brooks Hauser. Low shot, scores. That one did not get above about 6 inches off the ground at any point.
Great play there by the Jumbos. We're seeing a great job of them being patient, getting some short sticks on when they want to attack. The communication is just superb. And a great move finished off by Hauser there.
And I got to love our view right here of Coach Casey D'Onofrio miming Brooks Hauser not putting his stick more than about an inch off the ground on that shot.
Yeah, it was quite the skill move there to finish it off.
A second violation on the Camels. Next one will put them a man down. Regnery, Sam Frizzoli. Gets doubled. That's out of it, and Jumbos will set up now. Kevin Christmas on for the shift. Addinghausen. To the top, Regnery. Timmons, inside Christmas, gets hounded, That one's on the ground. Knocked away. Ground ball. Picked up by the Camels.
Christmas just got swarmed there. Even though that height advantage usually pays off for him, he is prone to a lot of checks from this Camels defense.
Yeah, I think the Camels did a really good job in the film room figuring out how to deal with Christmas. Shot from Hauser is blocked. Eddinghausen to collect the rebound.
But the great part about this Jumbo's team is that even if Christmas is not playing his best today, they have so much depth.
Like Max Eddinghausen, who got inside out on a defender and then just made Will Rice regret he showed up to Bello today.
Exactly. As I was saying, the depth is there. The depth can score. Eddinghausen finishes it off right there. Had no problem getting inside, finessing, and finishing past Rice. And we've got a 9-2 game. The Jumbos keep running that score out.
Yeah, I think the Jumbos, 486 was nice. I have a feeling they want to break 500 this year.
Yep. It's within reach.
Salcedo wins it to himself, going hard through 2. Shot score. That was about 3 seconds from draw to goal.
Wow. Salcedo there. He hasn't been getting all the face-off opportunities. Merrill's been getting a lot of them, but he wins that one, and the Camels didn't even have time to set themselves up. Just charged down the field and fired it home. I mean, 500. We'll see how far they can go.
I mean, that's 10 goals in 23 minutes to start the season. And mind you, they had 1 in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, and there was 20 goals scored by the Jumbos last time the Camels came here. We've got 10 goals scored with 7 minutes to go in the second quarter.
And that's a violation. The third, Camels going to go man down, which will only add to their misery.
And another good aspect of this, besides the victory for Coach Donalfo and the Jumbos, is that they can get a lot of these first years some early action, early NESCAC action, see what they can do, let them experience Bello, let them experience high-level NESCAC lacrosse.
And really frustrating there for Jason Fastici. He had not committed a violation on the first 2. Gets hit with the third one, has to serve the time. Jumbo's running a little bit of a different man-up unit here. Hauser shot, save Will Rice.
Hauser loves those low drives. That time Rice got the better of him.
Tagliaferri now. Gonna bring a ride on Will Rice, who drops Tagliaferri, but Tagliaferri just forces him to chuck it. Gets a block on it, ground ball. Could not tell you where that ball is, and eventually the Camels come up with it, but a timeout, I believe, called.
All hell just broke loose there. I think Rice thought he had the better of Tagliaferri, but he misplaced the pass. It hit Tagliaferri's stick. The ball was on the ground. Nobody came up with it. Now the Jumbos do.
I think they got a push, and now timeout Coach Donalfo as he decides he wants to take a breather after the chaos of that play. I mean, Max, what can the Camels do to stop this Jumbo's attack?
I mean, pretty much rely on Will Rice to keep working his magic. The Jumbos already have 6 different goal scorers. Ragneri and Eddinghausen both have hat tricks early on. I mean, you just do what you can. You try your best, but 10 goals, most of them in quick succession. It's not going to be an easy road for the Camels.
And Will Rice, last year, in 14 games, 185 saves, a little more than 15 a game, or a little less than 15 a game, excuse me, has 10 in the first 24 minutes of this game.
Yeah, and even though there's 9 goals allowed, I mean, you can't really fault him for that. He's basically carrying the Camels on his back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Last year with that 541 save percentage, I mean, he's been good today. Like, he's been really, really good today.
He's a brick wall, and he's not a really tall player, but he's confident in his abilities. He follows the ball well, and he can block it.
No, I think Will Rice has been almost perfect. I think we've seen him make 2 mistakes, and both times it's been with the Jumbo's ride. It's been decision-making on the clears.
Yeah, and sometimes it's been like Salcedo when he wins that face-off and the Camels just don't react. I mean, you can't ask Rice to do much there except try his best to save that shot.
Jumbo setting back up. Regneri, low shots in the back of the net, somehow got past Rice. He went across far post and put it in off metal, his 4th of the day.
As you said, his 4th of the day. Regneri with a great shot from distance there, all the way across his body, across Rice's body, into the right-hand side post. What a move from the Jumbos. 11-2 now.
And I don't know, it's early to say something like this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Jack Regneri's sophomore year starting to look a lot like the start of Jack Boyden's junior year, where he didn't get a ton of minutes the year before and then just exploded.
I can't attest to Jack Boyden's sophomore year, but Regneri's been outstanding today.
Ethan O'Neill going to bring it up. And the bigger question for Regneri in terms of today is, does he see the field at all in the second half?
That's a good point. You could say that for a lot of the Jumbo starters.
Jumbos with the ball, up 9, looking to push the lead to double digits already. Double comes, skip pass on the ground. Regneri came up with it, and a timeout called by D'Onofrio. Good timeout there as Regneri was about to get blown up.
Yeah, he got hacked immediately by the Camels. Was not going to be a pretty situation. Jumbos get a moment here to breathe before losing their leading scorer to a great check by the Camels defense.
And I think that's the advantage of being a team that's so comfortable and so almost certain of being in the lead the most of the way, is you can use your timeouts in situations just to maintain possession, as opposed to the Camels who have to use their timeouts after goals to try and just reset the team mentally.
Exactly. I mean, you don't really have to worry about clock management when you're up by 9 with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. You can use it to give your guys a breather. It's the first game of the season. You don't want any ugly hits. You don't want any injuries, especially on the turf, in the rain. Let the Jumbos regroup themselves and get back on the attack.
Absolutely, and I think, the Jumbos, this is a big game, but I think they have their eyes, especially as we were talking with some of the members of this team, with the goals of this team being a national championship. I think they already are starting to look, especially with a 9-goal lead, towards Wednesday night and Christopher Newport coming to town.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a great video the Jumbos posted on their social media. This is one of the only schools in the country where the only goal is a national championship. And unfortunately, their only loss of last year was in the national championship game. So their eyes are always looking forward to the next game.
Will Emsing, the freshman here. Great hand dodge, skip pass, Christmas. Save there by Rice, deflects it over the bar.
Christmas has been a little shaky early on with a wide shot there, dropping some balls when he received passes. He's a guy that'll probably get some minutes in the second half to help him get going and gain some confidence.
Christmas drops a defender, low shot, save Rice.
I'll eat my words. He did great job there. Rice just got the better of him.
I don't think you have to eat your words. You were right. Up till that point, Christmas had been struggling, but that's how quickly he can turn the switch. Jump shot, Emsing, save Rice. And a successful clear for the Camels. Christmas went for the hit, couldn't quite get over there.
Haven't said that one in a while. The Camels have not cleared the ball out of their defensive zone in a minute here.
That one on the ground. Panagopoulos fighting for it. Knocks it back inside, but there was no one there to help. And a timeout given to the Camels.
Panagopoulos did a good job fighting for the ball, even though it was a 2-1 advantage in the area for the Camels in terms of personnel. Camels need to slow themselves down here. They keep the ball in the offensive zone. They'll look to see if they can create a dangerous attack.
Yeah, and I question the decision by Panagopoulos there. Sure, it's the way to win the ball, but with not knowing where your fellow defenders are, knocking a ground ball back towards your own goal is a very risky play.
I agree. He was on an island out there coming towards the sideline. I couldn't tell if it was him or the Camels that knocked the ball back towards the goal, but either way, not the outcome you want there. Jumbos got lucky in that the Camels decided to take a minute to regroup here, and the attack didn't continue.
But I think that is an important point. He was on an island. You don't want another deep hole coming over because you want to keep at least 2 deep holes in the center. But there's got to be a midfielder coming back to help Panagopoulos in that situation.
Yeah, and even though the Jumbos are up 9 goals, they still have work to do. They still have room to grow, and I'm sure Coach Dinolfo is going to highlight that in film this week. You don't want to lose Panagopoulos, who has been good defensively last year. You don't want to lose him. Let him be out there all by himself, subject to danger and turning the ball over.
Absolutely. Camels will restart play near side here. 4 minutes to go in the first half. Camels realistically need a goal or 2 in this last 4 minutes to stay in this game. Got the Jumbos hung up a little bit. Inside out pass. And a point blank chance there for number 58, McAvoy, who has a goal already. That's surely going to be a flag. And it's not. Shocking.
That surprises me. Del Cristo just got absolutely hammered by the Camels midfield there, lost the ball.
But that's Nescac Lacrosse, very physical, save Garzone. And Michael Ayers will lead the clear. Garrett Kelly calling for it, gets it. We'll see if anyone picks him up. This time they do. And just like that, the Jumbos swing it all the way around to Regneri. Gets a step. Stops, starts. Draws a second man. Eddinghausen on the X. Del Cristo sets a pick. Eddinghausen uses it, pops off it. Joey Kraft getting some time with the first unit here. Kelly drops a defender, shot, scores. Mercy.
That was a great move from Kelly. We've seen a few great plays from him today. Lowers the shoulder, makes the defender miss almost in slow motion. Just charges forward and finishes off the shot.
That is just borderline unstoppable.
Especially with his height advantage, you're not going to see many defenders who are going to be able to stop that.
Another draw won by Salcedo as the Jumbos just continue their dominance at the face-off circle.
And that's Logan Lee, freshman defender from Colorado, getting some minutes there. We'll see what he can do.
Bocao now. Jumbos with their largest lead of the day, up 10. Regneri to Kraft, who will run down the channel.
Kraft just told Eddinghausen, I got this.
Yeah, Eddinghausen wanted to run a pick play. Kraft having none of it inside of KO. Spins somehow, got that shot and almost found the back of the net.
I don't know how Keogh kept the ball there. He was falling backwards. It's impressive he even managed to get a shot off, and the Jumbos keep it here.
Eddinghausen behind the back. Jumbos having all sorts of fun already. Kraft. Hands-free, double comes. Spins left, spins right. Forced to dump it off to Regneri, 15 to shoot. Garrett Kelly. 10 to shoot now for the Jumbos. Hauser goes down. Camels come away with the ball. And they're going to look to run fast. Jumbos, good slide there. Good look for the Camels, but they couldn't get it on target. It will stay with the Camels as it was backed up well.
Just a bit of a mistimed play there. McLaughlin thought he had a teammate at the far post, a little bit out of the reach. With a better pass, that could have been a goal for the Camels.
Probably should have been a goal for the Camels.
Their first real chance in quite a while here.
1 minute to go in the first half here at Bello. That one's on the turf, picked up easy as you like by Ryan Smith. Then goes down again. Jumbo's going to go man down. We'll see if the Camels can take advantage. Got a couple Jumbos hung out. Shot from Ward over the bar. And the Jumbos will now go man down.
Garzone's expecting the shot on goal there from the Camels on back-to-back possessions. They can't manage to find within the parameters of the net. Shot goes above, shot goes wide. Camels have to be more clinical, especially when you're down 10 goals if they want to get back into this.
And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, no, they just gave it to the freshman, or the sophomore in Ryan Smith. It looked as if for a second they were deciding whether or not to give 2 jumbos technicals. Only 1, so the jumbos will be down a man for 30 seconds. We'll see if the Camels decide to take advantage of this or if they decide to hold, make sure they get the last shot of the half.
They do have the advantage of the shot clock.
Great dodge, low shot, saved by Garzone. Will stay with the Camels. A great hands-free dodge there by Aiden McAvoy.
You were speculating about their strategy. Why not do both? Try to get a shot early and keep it so that you run out the clock.
No look feed over the bar. Will stay with the Camels. 21 on the game clock, 5 on the penalty. Jumbo's back to full strength here. $10 to go in the first half. Ward, hands free, sends it flying as he could not get his hands free again. Coming back defensively was Kai Solomon. Inside shot off the post. That'll be your half. Best look in about 10 minutes for the Camels. Went to Liam Horkin. He beat Garzone upstairs, but couldn't beat the middle. And we go to the break 12-2. Max, your thoughts on that first half?
Well, early on, I mean, I'll admit, I was a little surprised. The Jumbos came out of the block a little slow. They looked like they were going to let the Camels kind of dictate play, or at the very least, play was going to be even. But once the Jumbos got going, they couldn't be stopped. I mean, 12-2, and I think the Camels had maybe 2, maybe 3 real looks on goal before they went a man up in the last minute of the second quarter. So for the Camels, they're going to need to do a lot to get back in this game. Jumbos just want to keep the momentum going. As the quarter wound down there, they were getting a little flashy. There was some behind-the-backs passes between Kraft and Ellinghausen. So the Jumbos just want to continue what they're doing.
Awesome. Thanks, Max. And thank all of you for tuning into the first half. We'll be back in about 8 minutes with the second half. Stay tuned. Welcome back here to Bello Field, start of the second half, and Jumbo's with a very casual, what's the opposite of a dirty dozen? Like a really smooth dozen, Max?
Sure. A clean dozen.
Clean dozen in that first half with some highlight reel play led by Jack Rigneri's 4 and Max Ettinghausen's 3 as we get started here in the second half. Del Cristo won the ground ball, then got it taken off him, ran over a defender, and eventually the Jumbos corral it.
Very rare that you see that kind of calamity in the face-off circle when Parker Merrill steps up and takes a face-off. He's won 7 of 8 in the first half.
Conn College won that race as Rigneri was a little too casual there. Jumbo's going to bring a little bit of a ride here. Camels with 5, and they had too many men over. Coaching staff screaming at the referees who are having none of it.
I don't see what you can protest there. Camels clearly had too many men.
Rigneri gets a step, dumps it off, couldn't find O'Neal cleanly, sets a screen. Coming away with it was Hauser and scoring.
Brooks Hauser dropped the ball, picked it up, and kept going. I mean, he showed no fear there. We saw in the first half he finished low. Now he finishes high. He can do it all. He can take a shot from any angle. 13 here for the Jumbos, just over a minute into the second half.
Yeah, great finish there from Brooks Hauser. And that is 6 of the Jumbos' 13 from the sophomore class.
That's promising for the future if you're a Jumbo fan.
Indeed, indeed. Another face-off won by Parker Merrill, who is back to his freshman year self in terms of dominance from the dot. Rigneri has a screen, doesn't take it, goes left, over the top, hits bar. And the rebound corralled by the Camels, who are going to look to run. But they lose an edge. Ettinghausen picks up the ground ball. Camels all over the place right now. Hauser. Forced behind the net. Timmons. Hands free and sent that one way too high.
Timmons just with a bad angle on the shot there. He was wide open. Nobody was guarding him, and he just put the shot well wide of Rice's net. Hauser did a great job keeping the defense on their toes, moving around, getting Timmons open for the shot, but doesn't come to anything for the Jumbos.
Camels break the Jumbos' ride relatively easily. Jumbos back defensively. McAvoy behind the net. Swung up top here. Bobby Chang. One of 2 Camels with a goal today. Good dodge there by Diamond. To the X and McAvoy. Space for Ward. Garzone saves it. And a push on the Jumbos will reset the shot clock. McAvoy against Logan Lee. To the top and Diamond. Near side, Ward. Spin dodge on Verzoli, who shuts him off. Jumbos just doing a great job. No penetration whatsoever there from the Camels. Dodge made and a good help there from Logan Lee. Panagopoulos forces him back. Pass inside and a point-blank miss there from the Camels.
Great job by Panagopoulos and Lee, not letting the Camels do anything of real a threat there, and the shot goes above Garzone's net.
Low shot, save Garzone. Another low one. That one blocked all the way back. Camels will not be able to corral it. And Ettinghausen going to turn, and the Jumbo's going to run. Frizzoli. Camels have way too many up. Behind the back. Ayers to the X. Rigneri has a man hung up. Jumbos will reset. Hauser to Kevin Christmas, and once again, the feed to Christmas not successful.
Christmas had a minute, could have waited to receive the ball there, but he's kind of struggled early on, which is not terrible concern considering it's opening day, but somebody the Jumbos will look to keep going, especially when you have a guy with that kind of a height advantage.
And Jumbos might have gotten away with an offside there. A little stop and go there from the Camels. And out of bounds, Jumbo's ball. Kozub couldn't quite find the man.
Forced out by Panagopoulos. He's done a great job. I haven't said his name a ton, but that's a good thing when you're a defender.
Hauser. Around 2 screens. Spins back to Frizzoli. He gets his hands free. Gets railed. Doesn't matter. Finds the open man. Jumbo's able to reset. Hauser. Just wide. Will stay with the Jumbos. 50 on the shot clock.
What the Jumbos just did there on that possession, they always had somebody in the right spot, and I think that's a testament to their coaching. The ball bounces over the net, Regneri's there. The ball goes out, Regneri's there, and that's allowed them to keep possession here.
Great job there, and some miscommunication between the referees, and it's going to be Conn College ball. Coach Dinolfo asking for an explanation, being told it went out on the sidelines. Jumbo's going to bring a heavy ride here. First time we've seen that at any point today. Hauser tries to force Kozub out. Can't. Lowers the shoulder against Frizzoli. Jumbos are caught out, and there was a man wide open, streaking middle there. Was Nick McLaughlin.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the Jumbos were doing, pressing the Camels like that. They haven't done that all day, and it could have ended very poorly for there. The Camels had plenty of men in space, could have finished off an open shot.
To be honest, I wonder if that was a frustration decision from Dinolfo after the referees changed their call.
You might be right. He might have been taking out his frustration on the refs, on his players, and asking them to run the field there.
That shot sailed over the top, backed up by McAvoy. 30 on the shot clock. McAvoy spins, finds Kozub. Inside out pass given away. Picked up beautifully by Logan Lee, and he is gonna go. Jumbo's 4-on-3. Regneri down low to Hauser, and he sails it over the top. Gets his stick broken in the process.
What a piece of skill by Logan Lee. Beats 3 men on his own, bobbles the ball, keeps possession, charges all the way into the offensive zone. Hauser just wide there. Great skill from the freshman, and he's going to get a lot of minutes here in the second half, which promises well for the rest of the season.
Frizzoli to Kelly on the X. Slides up top. Ito to his fellow freshman, Will Emsing. Spin dodge onto his left. He'll hand it off to Joey Kraft. Regneri stop and go. Spins back middle. Emsing inside, couldn't find Frizzoli. Good idea, though.
And I think we're seeing the effect of the freshmen coming on here. They need a minute to gel. They need a minute to get the feel of the game. Jumbos have some uncharacteristically hurried and wide shots, allowing the Camels and Will Rice to regain possession here.
I think it's the longest the Jumbos have gone without scoring since the first quarter.
I mean, we're 7 minutes in and 1 goal for us commentators. That's as much of a dry spell as you can get.
For most teams, that would just be a normal day at the office, but for the Jumbos, a very, very different standard of offense. Dodge there from Jack Tenzer, who had a couple goals in this matchup a year ago. And correct me if I'm wrong, Max, I believe that's the first time I've said his name all day.
That was exactly what I was going to say, Riley. I don't think we mentioned him at all yet. It's not for a lack of quality, but a lack of opportunities.
And that might be the name of the game for the Camels at large today. Just lack of opportunities.
They're not going to go down without a fight, though.
And there they get one and take advantage. Bobby Chang with a second.
As we were saying, they're not going to go down without a fight. Bobby Chang, I believe that's his second goal of the day. And the Camels get one back. Jumbos are in a bit of a stagnant state right here. Camels will look to capitalize. We'll see what they can keep doing here in the third quarter.
And this is the sort of spot when this was stagnant a year ago where you would look to Jack Bowden and Tommy Swank and Kurt Brune. They're not on the field. They're not here. The question now becomes, and I think we're going to see, even up 10 goals, who's going to step up right here, right now?
Exactly. Who do they turn to? Will it be Regnery? Will it be Eddinghausen? I mean, I follow the Celtics pretty closely. Third quarters when they lose control of the game. The Jumbos don't want to mimic that here in the NESCAC lacrosse season.
That's a great comparison. Kind of feel like the way the Jumbos have been playing in the NESCAC the last couple of years, very similar to the Celtics.
Yep. Once it gets to the last game of the season, they can't quite finish it off.
Kelly spinning left to right in circles. Finds Timmons, who has a head of steam. Thought about the shot, decided better. Kraft on the X to Eddinghausen. Spin dodge. Regnery couldn't get it cleanly, but he baited a defender in. Jumbo's going to go man up. Regnery doesn't care, gets a good look. Kept in by Timmons, and now out of bounds. Jumbo's going to go man up.
Yeah, Jumbos will take this opportunity with open arms. Even though they managed to keep the ball in the offensive zone, they can't get shots on target right now. Might just be coming out of a funk entering the second half. Maybe there was no Hell's Bells at halftime like there was when they first took the field. But we'll see what they can do here with a man advantage.
Couldn't get any good looks the first time a man up, and this is a 1 minute unreleasable for a slash. Camels in a bit of a zone here. And Jumbo's going to run a hidden ball trick play. Eddinghausen up top. Regnery scores. What a play.
That was really cool to watch. We saw Eddinghausen and Sam Frizzoli kind of do a shake, and we didn't even know if they passed the ball or who had it, and the Camels didn't know either. And a great finish from the move there from the Jumbos. 14 goals now. They take the advantage of the opportunity when they have a man up. And if the trick play works, why stop using it?
And I think it works so well there because with the man up, you don't really have the ability to send guys to both sides of the, like Deke. If you send guys both ways, you're basically giving the Jumbos a 4-on-3.
Exactly. You don't know who to track. And the Jumbos usually only have one man in the X. They go with two there, and it pays off.
Regnery gets tripped up, and a great save there by Will Rice as Regnery was looking for his 6th. Another giveaway. Here is Regnery, cuts inside, jump shot, save Rice. That one gonna send the Jumbos man down as they took out a Camel.
Yeah, it looked like Frizzoli, who's done a great job in midfield, wreaking havoc, wreaked a little too much havoc there. The Jumbos are gonna have to take that penalty.
It's a great way to describe it, Max. Wreaking havoc is Sam Frizzoli's modus operandi, but they get Regnery there, who has been absolutely dominant today.
And even though he's having to sit this one out, I think that might be a good thing for him. You know, he's been exerting so much energy early on in the second half.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that the Camels have to be aware of, with it only being a 30-second penalty. If they don't have the ball at the end of this penalty, they're in a lot of trouble because Jack Regnery coming out of the box is a danger.
Absolutely. As soon as he bolts onto the field, the Jumbos are going to look to attack through him.
Ayers gets hung up. That one's on the ground. And maybe a poor decision there from Ayers to not just chuck that thing. And great defense there by Ayers and Panagopoulos, forcing the Camels out. That'll allow them to see out the rest of this penalty.
Ayers and Panagopoulos taking no prisoners, dropping the shoulder, forcing the Camels out of bounds. Here come the Jumbos.
Cam Del Cristo brings it across. Regnery getting a little bit of a breather. Hauser wants it. Instead, they're going to give it to Kevin Christmas. We'll see what he can do here as the distributor.
And here he is. Regnery's back in the game.
Gets through 2, low shot, and a ridiculous save by Will Rice.
I think that hit Will Rice's face mask. He's taking any means necessary to keep the Jumbos out of the back of the net.
Kraft. Hauser. Shot fake. Dumps it off Ettinghausen. Skip past Joey Kraft, and that just fell out of his stick. Camels have numbers now. Ward, down low, shot, save Garzone. Garzone out of the crease, ball on the turf. And eventually, Michael Ayers will corral it. Interference called on the Camels, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Yeah, Garzone has to make sure he stays ready here. He's in a bit of a difficult position because he has nothing to do for most of the game, but when the time comes, he better be ready, and he did a great job there, even having to go outside of the crease to corral the ball.
Kelly, Regneri, skip pass to a wide open Ettinghausen. He goes low to Kelly. Camels getting confused here. Kelly drops a man.
That's Allen Iverson style right there.
Christmas backs down a man, shoots, and just wide. And right now the Jumbos just putting a sword to the throat of Camels.
Yeah, Garrett Kelly, I love the juke move right there. Christmas, again, they're trying to get him opportunities to boost his confidence. Puts that one over the crossbar, though.
There he is setting a screen. Hauser skip pass, shot Ettinghausen, and if he gets that look, he's going to put it away.
I don't know how you let Max Ettinghausen get that wide open there. We've seen him the whole time with that lefty shot. He finishes when he gets his opportunities. Hauser came around the edge there, found him through the middle. Jumbos tack number 15 on the board.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just, there are open shots you can give when you have to slide, but 10 yards out straight on to Max Ettinghausen is not one you can afford.
Yeah, I agree. Even though Hauser's always dangerous coming around the back of the net, you know, Ettinghausen's a guy you always want to keep an eye on, and the Camels failed to do that there.
Another ground ball. Michael Ayers comes away with this one. And in his first game, having switched from a long stick midi to a deep hole, Ayers has looked really solid.
He looks natural back there. I think, obviously, it's a lot of the same skill set, just falling deeper back from midfield into defense. And now he gets to show off a little bit of his attacking prowess here.
And Ettinghausen scores again. That's 5 for him now.
I mean, what else is new? Ettinghausen picks it up, lashes it in from considerable range. I think Ayers did a great job bringing the ball out from defense there, kind of showing his two-sided game, and he goes right back to defense.
Max Ettinghausen has more than 25% of his goal total from a year ago in 3 quarters today.
That's what opportunities will give you.
Parker Merrill with another win, and he might look to just go. Ettinghausen, Camels all the way out about 20 yards from net, doubling him, which is a pretty good indication of how this quarter has gone. And here he is with a head of steam. Skip pass just missed a beautiful cut from Brooks Hauser.
Yeah, Hauser and Ettinghausen have been two sides of the same coin early on here in the second half. Just missed a great opportunity from Hauser there, cutting inside.
Good spin dodge there.
That's Patrick Atkins with the spin from the Camels. Again, another name that we probably should give more justice to.
It's hard to remember all these names when they're touching the ball so infrequently.
That's true.
Under 2 to go in the third quarter here. As the crowd continues to fill up here at Bello, despite the rain, they don't care. They're here to cheer on the number 2 team in the country, who is proving the merit of that preseason ranking.
This isn't rain, this is lacrosse weather, Riley, and the Jumbo fans are going to come out no matter what to support.
No doubt about that. Man hung up. Garzone doesn't care. He'll do it himself.
Garzone showing a ton of confidence here.
And that was a mistake. Camels get it back in quickly. Shot. Saved by Garzone. And then it goes in off the redirect.
I was just going to praise Garzone for being so adept at coming out of his net and keeping possession even when he has to go behind. But he got a little too cocky there, lost possession. The Camels take advantage. He manages to save the first, but it goes in anyway.
He pulled the Dan Orlovsky. He was walking back, did not realize where the out-of-bounds line was, and it cost them a goal.
It's a great analogy, except Dan Orlovsky was inside, we're outside, and we're in the elements. We don't have time for stepping out the back line when we're in the elements here.
Parker Merrill now 8 of 9 from the faceoff dot. Gets run over. Jumbo's going to go man up momentarily. Rigneri might not wait for that. Skip pass. Hauser. Keogh. Oh, my word. What a deke. Hauser shot. Point-blank save from Will Rice, and the Jumbos will go man up.
We haven't seen Keogh get a ton of opportunities. He's had a few possessions with a chance to show what he can do with the offensive zone. Great deke there. Hauser, again, just so quick. The Camels have no idea what to do with him once he gets going.
Shot clock reset to 80. Camels going to go man down for 30 seconds. And I wouldn't be surprised if these 37 seconds left in this third quarter is the last we see of this Jumbo's starting unit.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good assumption. Get ready for Christopher Newport. Get some rest.
Rigneri to the top. Brooks Hauser wide. Stays with the Jumbos. But just the quickness of the ball movement there.
I was going to say, Brooks Hauser, he sounds like a relief pitcher when you say that name. And he certainly has the stuff of a relief pitcher. He's got the movement on the ball and the movement in the pass.
Rigneri tried to skip past. Didn't get enough on it. Jumbo's bringing a heavy ride now. Trying to take advantage of the man up. Brooks Hauser almost knocked that away while running out of bounds for a substitution.
Almost a no-look interception.
That'll be the end of the third. We go to the fourth here at Bello. 16-4 in favor of the Jumbos. We'll take a short break. Be right back. Welcome back here to Bello Fields on the campus of Tufts University. I'm now joined by Felix Bhattacharya. Felix, a pleasure to have you with us.
Always a pleasure, Riley.
Your thoughts on the Jumbo's performance through the first three quarters?
Well, quite an aggressive and phenomenal performance by the Jumbos early on. Certainly something that we expected coming into this season. The Jumbos, I mean, historically phenomenal team when it comes to this sport. They've been aggressive. Max Eddinghaus has been around the field scoring those goals, and, you know, the Jumbos, they're picking up this win pretty early.
Yeah, I think very confident, and you can tell that because Coach Ginolfo, talk about a line change. I believe it is 11 new bodies on the field. Jumbo's going to give a lot of new guys some first minutes, some returning guys some more minutes, and save the starters' legs for that big showdown Wednesday against Christopher Newport.
Well, I think that's what makes the Jumbos so phenomenal is the depth that they have in this team, really focusing on building up new players, and here's a chance for them to shine.
Without a doubt, and for the Camels, maybe a chance for them to get back on track. Even if they can't get back into the game, maybe they can get some sort of momentum going into the rest of the NESCAC season. as the Camels taking their sweet time making substitutions will finally start the offense. 30 seconds gone on the shot clock. Ward comes off a screen, nice feed, low shot, scores.
Well, what a opening right there for the Camels. I mean, you can see the change up in the Jumbo strategy here. Really opens up the backfield and gives them a chance to score, which is exactly what the Camels did here.
And it's a great play there because the Camels use almost a moving screen in a way that's perfectly legal by running that little circular handoff play. J.J. Ford comes off it, almost like you see those dribble handoffs in basketball. Ford takes advantage, and with a shot angle that's that open, he's just too good of a shooter. Jumbo's second unit going to get some attacking work here. Callum Wood will dump it off to the X and Joey Kraft. And here's Bo Keogh.
Yeah, great chance here for the Jumbos to score, too. I mean, you know, you have some of the younger players mixing it up with some veterans such as Kraft on the field. Gives them a chance to understand how this Jumbo's offense really works and why it's been phenomenal for so long. Gives them a time to show what their long hours in practice have been working towards.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen them. Last night they were out here, I know, until about 8 o'clock, night before a game. So doesn't matter how confident they are going to put in the work regardless.
That's the big difference factor for the Jumbos.
Kelly jumps that pass. Bo Keogh wins the hustle race. Now has two Camels caught out of position. 15 to shoot. Kelly spins left, jump shot, wide.
What an opening there for Kelly. I mean, just slightly wide for him. Almost made that opportunity make there.
Yeah, and a good save there by Will Rice.
Rice certainly the difference factor for the Camels here today.
Kraft tried to feed it. That ball's on the ground now, and eventually the Camels come away with it. But I think this is a game where experience is a factor, but you wouldn't know it. I mean,
experience and size, Riley. I think what you can notice now here is, you know, the Camels have added on a little bit of size. There's a difference there between the Jumbo's younger players and who the veterans Camels players here. I think that's what's going to give them their opening, just to really push through quite literally to that net.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. You look at, like, D3 experience, and inevitably of the players on the field right now, the Camels are much more experienced.
For sure.
But then you look at guys like Joey Kraft, who have experience that no one on the Camels has, in that he played in the Lacrosse World Cup in June. Like, that's an experience playing against some of the best players in the world that you can't get outside of maybe the top realms of D3 and D1 lacrosse. You're not going to get that on a random NESCAC game.
That's what makes D3 lacrosse so special. Oh, my God, what a save there for the Jumbos.
Yeah, great save there by the junior Ben Friedman. Turnover there from the Jumbos. Now they're going to bring a bit of a ride on J.J. Ford. He'll skip it here as the rain's starting to pick up just a bit here. Could make it for more of a skittish, random, weird bouncing goal fourth quarter. Ford down the channel to the X now. McAvoy just completely lost his own edge. Jumbo's going to go man down.
2 flags on the field.
Great feed inside of Ford and a great job collapsing on him by the Jumbos. They knew they were about to go man down, but they weren't going to give up the goal first.
No, and that's what makes the Jumbos so special. You know you can't give up the goal in that opportunity, even in these late moments. You know, those goals, they can be a difference factor later on in the season, and you want to hold your own in these moments.
Absolutely, and I think the Jumbos, they want to win, but they don't just want to win. They want to win in a way that sends a statement to the rest of the country that this is our year. I mean, looking at the decisions made by Coach Ginolfo in making this year's schedule, and you can see kind of what he means by that. Last year's schedule was tough. It had a lot of ranked teams. This year's schedule blows that thing out of the water. The Jumbos play 2 of the other 3 Final Four teams in the next 2 weeks.
Well, I think Wednesday's going to be the big challenge with Christopher Newport. See what the Jumbos can really do. See if they can show signal, as the Camels just scored an amazing goal right there.
Yeah, great feed down low, and finally getting himself the goal he deserved was Liam Horkin. But you look at the schedule, like, there is no easy game at any point this year.
Not in the slightest. Christopher Newport, Union College. I mean, this will truly be a challenge for the Jumbos. Number 4, RIT in the schedule there as well. I mean, these are perennial champions in D3 lacrosse, teams that you often see in the Final Four, teams that you've seen play in the national championship, teams that have played on Bello before, as we saw last season. We'll see what the Jumbos can do. I mean, I know they've been working hard, so we'll see if they can pull off the win finally this season.
And I almost wonder if the Jumbos, the fact that they hadn't lost, as Callum Wood, I don't know how he got that shot off.
Rice rushing for the ball right there.
Yeah, he tried to win the race, but too much of a head start there for the Jumbos and Max Melton, the junior. Who spins, hands off, 10 minutes to go here on Bello. Another ground ball picked up by the Camels, and then they step out of bounds. And that's something the Jumbos do better than pretty much any other team in the country, and that is if you take the slightest step wrong, they will put you out of bounds. Jackson Red, spin dodge. Draws a second man, finds Callum Wood inside, and a jumping goal. How about that one for Max Melton?
And that's what makes the sport so special, is it's really a teamwork sport, as you saw right there. A special spin move there for the Jumbos, pushing in the goal. I mean, that's where the hard hours really pay off in figuring out how those cool skill moves can work out. And there we go. There's one for the highlight reels for sure.
Absolutely, and that's just brilliant teamwork because
absolutely,
Jumbos knew by Jackson Red drawing true that the pass to Callum Wood would draw that center defender over. Melton knew that was his responsibility to make that cut inside. He makes it perfectly timed. Wood feeds it knowing he's going to be there. Melton knows he doesn't have the ability to take that down and still get a shot off, so he takes it in the air and finishes. Jumbos might have gotten away with an offsides there. They're just hounding the Camels right now, making them work for every inch they get further into Jumbo territory.
Well, I mean, at the end of this this fourth quarter, you can really see it's a stamina game. The Camels have been out here all day long, whereas the Jumbos just put in a fresh set of players. They still have the speed. I mean, this is a game where speed really makes the difference. Who can make it across the field as fast as possible? So I think that's really what's winning the Jumbos here the advantage right now.
Yeah, and I think that's a great feed inside and a save and a half there by Friedman.
Great save there by Friedman.
I think that's one of the things that really distinguishes the Jumbos from pretty much every other team in D3 is that they have the ability to put on a second unit that could stay with any other team's first unit, which allows them to, whenever a game becomes uncompetitive, give their first unit the just rest of the day off. And then when it's a close game, when it's a game like the game between these two teams in the regular season last year, and you need your starters to play all 60 minutes, they have no problem doing it. As an unforced error there from the Jumbos, we'll give it back to the Camels. Camels going to try and clear, and do successfully. Jumbos almost knocked it free. McAvoy inside feed, and a goal for the Camels, who have found their offense here in the fourth.
I mean, there was the hole, the opening right there for the Camels, and they put it through.
Yeah, great feed there from Aiden McAvoy, and a goal for Liam Horkin. Cutting in beautifully. But I think that's an experience goal. The Camels knew exactly where Horkin was going to be. This Jumbo's first unit, or this second unit, excuse me, it's their first time really playing in a real game together.
Right.
They don't know, oh, he's going to take that guy. I need to slide over.
Well, and that's where if you have the Jumbo starters in there, they've been able to control Horkin all day, and here he found his opportunity to shine. He's one of the top players for the Camels. And I mean, as much as we like to talk about the Jumbos, the Camels definitely have an exciting season ahead, and they look like a bright team to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing about the NESCAC that really is different with lacrosse than maybe any other sport. It's that in the NESCAC, it sometimes is harder to make the NESCAC tournament than it is to make the NCAA tournament because there are, at times, as there were several times last year, 8 teams in the top 25 of the country.
Right.
You generally have to be a top 40 team in this country to make the NESCAC tournament. Last year, the Camels got in as the 18th. This team looks better than last year. I mean, Max mentioned it at the outset. They only lost 5 players, including only 2 from their rotation. So they have a lot of returning talent as Callum Wood, another returning talent for the Jumbos, gets his first of the year.
Well, what a chance there for Wood. I mean, you know, returning talent is always important to have, especially when it comes to leadership, and happy to see him shine here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for the Camels, they're probably glad that if they had to play a first game against a really good team, that they got their game with Tufts done first. Because if they were going to have a game to get out the kinks, get out the rust, when they weren't going to be playing their best, they'd rather have it against Tufts, a team they haven't beaten in 11 years. And I think it's fair to say the Camels we've seen in the last 10 minutes have been significantly better than the Camels we saw in the first half.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you put a veteran unit out there that's always been successful against some of the younger players. I mean, that's where experience gets to shine through. And you know, this is no easy sport, as any of us can talk about it. It takes a lot of talent and time. And all those years of hard work are really shining through right now. And glad that the Camels could get a few more on the scoreboard.
The talent that it takes to play at this level is the reason why you and me are here and not out on the field.
Absolutely.
And too many on the Camels, as those are the sort of mistakes that you shouldn't be making with an experienced team. There's one kind of level of mistake, and that's the physical mistakes like we just saw there from the Jumbos. Then there are the mental mistakes that when you're playing against a good team, which pretty much every team in the NESCAC is, you cannot afford to be making.
Well, you know, we often like to talk about this game as, you know, a game of experience, but it's the first match of the season. You expect to see a few mistakes like that one right there where a little bit of slip-ups will happen. And I think as both of these teams continue on into the season, we'll see them grow and we'll see them shine even more.
Yeah, I mean, neither of these teams have it particularly easy. Connecticut College has games against Hamilton, Amherst, and Williams in the next month. So 3 very talented teams. The Jumbos have 4 ranked opponents in the month of March. Ooh. As another nice save from Friedman, who has looked really, really good.
Yeah, great opportunity here for Friedman to shine. I mean, he's a junior. He's got another season left. You know, you love to see when some of the non-starters get some playing time as well.
Friedman is still running. And Denolfo calls timeout, as he was not happy, had been asking for the timeout for a little bit. Referee did not hear him, finally gives it. We're going to take a short break, be right back. Welcome back here to Bellow Field. As just under 5 minutes to go here, we'll remind you all, these guys are back here on Bellow Wednesday night against Christopher Newport in what might be the biggest regular season game in the history of Tufts men's lacrosse.
And it's the second game of the season. What a challenge it is going to be for these Jumbos. I mean, quite a dominant win that we will expect today. But, you know, going into those difficult games, they're not going to go into the locker room today being ecstatic. I mean, they'll certainly be excited, but they'll be looking forward and nervous to that matchup. I know they're going to spend some time in the film room, but, you know, they're going to go in with dominance.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that says a lot about the mentalities. That's an illegal screen and a half by Callum Wood. I think that says a lot about the mentality. I mean, Coach D'Onofrio has straight up told his team anything short of a national championship this year would be a disappointment. That sort of mentality brings with it certain expectations, and that's the sort of expectations that you might not care so much about regular season games, but you want your teams playing the best. That's why there's Christopher Newport and RIT and Stevens and Babson in the non-conference plate, because he wants a team that's not necessarily ready for April, but it's a team that's ready for May.
I mean, you want to take every game at a time, and even though there's all these non-conference games, all these scrimmages, you know, they're going to be taking them seriously. These are moments for you to shine, to work on the little things that matter at the end of the day. While they might not matter in the regular season, once you get to April, every tiny little moment matters.
Yeah, absolutely. When you get to April, when you get to March, the little things matter. And I want to talk about one little thing that really matters, and the Jumbos have done phenomenally today, and that is the face-off dot. First 5 face-offs today, Conn College was 3 of 5. Since then, Conn College, 3 of 24. The Jumbos have dominated from the face-off circle.
I mean, if you can win those face-offs early, you get the ball, you get the momentum. You literally start off everything with the ball in your hands, as the Jumbos seem to be celebrating another goal right here.
Yeah, Callum Wood with his second of the game. But yeah, Felix, as you said, it's a momentum sport. We saw it as soon as the Jumbos got going today. It became a completely different game. And that's what kind of winning the faceoffs can do. Unlike in a lot of sports where if the other team scores, you get the ball. In lacrosse, you win the draw, you keep the ball.
Right.
And if you can keep winning draws, as the Jumbos just continue to do here before losing control, you can just keep possession on, keep the offensive pressure going, and just never lose momentum.
Yeah, and I mean, we talk about losing control right there. Again, those are the small things that right now in the first game we'll probably see as we go towards the season. You'll see the Jumbos working on those little things, making sure that stuff doesn't happen, because you can gain the momentum, but you got to hold the momentum too.
Absolutely. Jumbo's going to double here. 3 minutes to go in what is a dominant first game of the year. Pass inside. Lovely finish there by McAvoy.
Again, there we go. McAvoy pulling it all off. I've said it before, the Camels are not a team to joke with. They're going to be phenomenal in the rest of the season, and excited to see them play.
Yeah, and I think the way they have taken advantage of opportunities tells me that when they're playing against a team that isn't as dominant on the draw, and if they get close to 50% of opportunities in this game, this is a much different game.
I mean, you have to focus on every moment possible. If the Jumbos put in new players, it's a completely different game. You got to fix your strategy. You got to change. You got to find your open holes. You're playing against a completely different Jumbos team here, but doesn't make them any weaker.
No, it doesn't. And I think that's the thing that I think is so unique about this Tufts program is every single one of these players who is on this second unit is at almost, if not the same quality as the players on the first unit. As we see every year when we graduate 5 All-Americans and then see the next year's crop produce another new 5 All-Americans. Jack Ranieri, the perfect example. Didn't get a ton of play time last year. Was an honorable mention All-NESCAC player. Was a third-team preseason All-American. Came in today at 5 goals. Eddinghausen, another one. Had 18 goals last year, despite being on the first power play unit. Has 5 goals today just because he got more opportunities. These teams have so much talent on them, and it's about getting your players the opportunities to take advantage of their abilities.
I mean, opportunities matter, right? You can develop a player during practice time, but if they're not on the field, if they don't understand how that works mentally, it changes everything.
I mean, I think the perfect example of that is Jack Boyden. Jack Boyden, as a sophomore, scored 12 goals. That is not a great number. It's not a bad number, but it's not a great number. He then, in his junior and senior seasons, put up the 2 best statistical seasons in the history of Division III lacrosse. And it was purely based on the fact that he got an opportunity to showcase his skills. As we enter here the final minute at Bellow Field, I mean, just utter dominance, I think, has to be the description of this game.
Oh, absolutely. Utter dominance. They lead by 11 right now, and I don't know if it's going to stay that way. Seems like it'll stay relatively close as we enter the final minute. Pure dominance here by the Jumbos, by not only their first unit, but by their second unit as well. The Camels, very commendable effort. They really held on. 8 goals is no joke against this Jumbo team. I mean, Jumbos had a ton of opportunities. You have to give it out to the Camels defense.
I got to give it out to Will Rice.
Will Rice, absolutely.
Just a performance of a lifetime from Will Rice. Jumbo's 59 shots today, and he held them to 19 goals. Alongside that, 17 saves today. So almost a 50% save percentage as another goal for the Camels. But just to put that in perspective, the Jumbos were held under 50% in shooting percentage one time last year. And he almost got to that mark in the very first game of the season. Camels get another one, cutting the deficit back to 10, and if the Jumbos win this draw, that will be the final score for sure. A violation called. Which way is it going? It's going to go against the Camels.
As we go round down to the final 20 seconds.
I'd imagine Coach Ginalfo, yeah, he's telling them not to think about a shot. Jumbo's good sports here, going to just run the clock out. And that'll do it here from Bello. Final score here. The Camels of Connecticut College 9 and your number 2 ranked Tufts Jumbos 19. Felix, your closing thoughts?
I mean, a phenomenal start by the Jumbos. Despite the weather, despite everything else, the crowd really showed up, and the Jumbos, you know, on the sidelines, they're the ones that are always cheering. You can see that this is a team. This is a brotherhood. This is a group of people that loves to stick together and work hard, and we saw that pure dominance by both the first team and the second team, and that's why they're leaving here with this win. I can't wait till Wednesday, see what they can do against Christopher Newport. What a phenomenal and exciting matchup that is going to be.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have a post-game interview with a Jumbo star. Stay tuned. I'm here post-game with Jumbo's attackman, Max Ettinghausen. Max, 5 goals in this performance today. Can you walk through what this opportunity meant, getting a first-team run with these guys?
Yeah, just like an awesome opportunity. Get back out here with the fellas. It's been a long time coming. We cherish these opportunities. So
Christopher Newport comes up on Wednesday, but first you guys had to get through Conn College. How important was this game, knowing how close that game was last year and how much they had it on their minds, having you guys sent them out of the NESCAC quarterfinal a year ago?
Yeah, we were just confident coming in here, just playing our game, not really worrying about the opponent, just keeping it us versus us. So.
Coach Adolphus obviously talked about the importance of a national title and that being the primary goal. How important is Wednesday's game against Christopher Newport on the road to that goal?
Yeah, it's just a great opponent, a great test for us. Just another opportunity for us to come out, play the game that we do. So.
Awesome. Thanks, Max. Thank all of you for tuning in. We'll be here tomorrow at 2:30 for women's lacrosse home opener against Washington Elite. Until then, stay home safely.